Back, it is time for New Music Tuesday. Our CW Entertainment reporter Taylor Ellison is here for New Music Tuesday, and I noticed you were at a taping for a local band last week at a pretty cool venue.
I was. Last week I was back at On Air Streaming, which is that really cool music venue downtown where they film artists in a trailer.
Yeah.
It's a really cool intimate setting and people get to watch from outside the trailer while the bands are inside.
Yeah, and so they were just performing in a trailer. This is all live.
So it's a live taping downtown Austin, and last week was Black Joe Lewis, who is actually a Blues on the Green artist from a few weeks ago, and you can see them right there in their sound check, and they have a new album coming out in just a few weeks. So this was a really cool performance to get to see them up close and personal from the trailer, and we actually caught up with him right before the show.
There's some rock and roll on there. A lot of people probably catch some people off guard, but we're all pretty pumped about it. So I think it's the coolest thing we've done yet.
Yeah, so there you can see, and he's talking about their new album that's about to come out, Electric Slave, and then they go on tour in September. But before that, they'll have an in-store show at Waterloo Records for free September 1st. And actually, Brian, one thing I think is super cool about Joe is that he didn't start playing guitar until a little later in his life, maybe around 19 or 20. So we actually chatted about that that day as well. You can see that here.
And they really seem to enjoy that on-air streaming little intimate setting.
It's a good chance to get up close and personal. But really quick, I want you to see what he said about playing guitar later in his life.
I just had this boring job at a pawn shop and just kind of walk around and mess with the merchandise. And it was slow, and I was like, oh, I'm going to buy one of these. And then I just kind of slowly, over the years, started learning how to play, and then got my first gig when I was 20, I think, probably a year in or something. And it wasn't that great for a long time, you know. So
Getting warmed up?
yeah, you know, I just gotta learn, but I don't know, somehow I just figured it out. And
It was your destiny.
here I am.
That's what you were meant to do.
He's a natural.
Right?
Yeah.
So
in addition to a music group, there's also a music festival coming up.
Yes, there is a fun festival coming up called Fun Fest.
It's all in the name.
Right? And it's going to be a music and comedy festival with some other big things as well. And yesterday I sat down with the general manager of Transmission Events, and that's the group that puts on Fun Fest, Bobby Garza, and we spoke about what's in store. So you can see that here.
November 8th, 9th, and 10th at Auditorium Shores.
Beautiful.
Tours usually start at about 11 and we'll run till 10 o'clock when the park closes. So we'll have music programmed on 3 music stages, the comedy stage, and then we'll have BMX and skate throughout the day doing demonstrations with professionals and also giving some of our local pros a chance to show us what they got to.
That is a multifaceted event over there.
It's a lot.
That's going to be so much fun and highly stimulating. So a lot in store with Fun Fest this year, and it's actually grown and changed a lot over the years and used to be in Waterloo Park. So Bobby and I chatted about that as well, and I'll let him tell you. And speaking of growing, your festival's only proliferated. So it was in Waterloo Park for what, 5 years or so?
Yeah, 5 years.
And then you switched over to Auditorium Shores. Kind of tell us what that has enabled you to do.
Well, I think it's enabled us to have more space, obviously, and get more people to the fest, but also to look at the space in a different way and figure out how to grow comedy as a bigger stage, how to include things like the skate ride, BMX stuff, which we're super excited about this year.
So a lot going on with the festival this year, and a lot of big names in music. They'll have MGMT, MIA, Snoop Dogg, or excuse me, Snoop Lion, and a lot of other fun people.
Absolutely, and they just had their Water Olympics, which were a lot of fun to build up to the music festival. And some big names tomorrow night.
Bruno Mars will be in Austin tomorrow at the Frank Irwin Center. It's a sold-out show, but for those of you who still want to catch it, Waterloo Records will be having just a celebrating listening party with free Amy's ice cream. Excuse me, not want to catch it, but want to celebrate it. So you can go to Waterloo Records and just be excited that he's in town.
Yeah, some great music from Bruno Mars. Thank you so much for being here, Taylor Ellison.
Thank you, Brian.
Entertainment
Appreciate
reporter.
it.